Podcast where you break down the biggest moments, hottest takes, and the wildest stories from the world of pro wrestling. Whether you're a diehard fan or just stepping into the squared circle, we're here to give you the real scoop on everything happening in the ring.
I'm your host, RJD, and we're about to take a ride through the latest and greatest in pro wrestling. Get ready for all our hot takes, deep dives, and all the wrestling you never knew you needed.
Don't forget to hit the like, share, and subscribe button and join What the Wrestling family so you never miss an episode. Now let's step into the ring.
You're listening to the What the Wrestling Podcast, the show that brings you all things wrestling with your host, RJD.
Oh, you already know what time it is. Monday Night Raw has officially came and went. Everybody, it is Christmas Eve up in here. Monday Night Raw was yesterday, and I'm sure everybody was oh so ecstatic to see Monday Night Raw.
You stupid.
All right, maybe not. Last night's Raw wasn't all that, but we're going to get in, we're going to get out like a jack move. We're going to talk about what happened, what's coming on, what is next. Everybody's setting up for January 6th. So without further ado, let us not waste any more time. Let's go. Yes. Tis I, RJD, here. Welcome to What the Wrestling, the show that brings you all things wrestling. We had ourselves a Monday Night Raw last night. Can't get mad at that. So, before we get into anything, updates. Yes, we going back live when Raw goes to Netflix. We got some other stuff moving. SmackDown's probably going to move too. I got stuff in my beard. This is crazy. SmackDown's probably going to move too, so we have to see when that actually happens. But I'm pretty sure SmackDown's going to move. And for right now, Monday Night Raw is going to Netflix. So I look forward to that. That's going to be interesting. SmackDown's going to be 3 hours. Lord, pray for us all. Pray for us all with these 3 hour wrestling shows. I don't know what we're going to do, but we will get through them together. I promise you. But in later news, Rampage, as I said, is done. That's great. Rampage is done. It is absolutely beautiful. Good to see that show is gone. We don't need it anymore. Sayonara. Thanks for coming. We'll holler at you. But we do have Collision. We do have Dynamite. And hopefully AEW can get their ish together after the next pay-per-view. We got a lot of stuff going on. We got a lot of stuff to come. So with that being said, let's keep this rolling. So updates are done. All right, let's talk about Monday Night Raw. So what exactly happened? This show didn't have a lot going on. So we're going to run through this real quick. We had Dexter Lumis defeating The Miz via DQ. Shortly after the match began, the Final Testament came to the ring to attack Lumis for the DQ. After the match, the group looked to continue their assault, but the lights went out and the White Six surrounded the ring, and that led to a brawl. Damian Priest defeated Dominic Mysterio. Mysterio angled for a match earlier because Finn Balor and Liv Morgan weren't talking to each other like they were back in high school.
You stupid.
It's like, oh, tell Finn that I'm mad at him. Okay, well, tell this girl that she sucks. And it was funny. Listen, shout out to the Judgment Day, but I think the Judgment Day will soon be coming to an end. I think it's going to be a wrap, and I honestly think they had a good run and it was fun while it lasted. So that's happening. Or they're just gonna end up kicking Finn out the group, and Dominic Mysterio is gonna take over, and then we'll get this new iteration of the Judgment Day. But Mysterio suggested that he had a larger plan. He said, "Wait, I've got a plan," and which turned out to be JD McDonough running interference while dressed as Santa Claus to allow Finn Balor to attack Damian Priest until the War Raiders ran off the Judgment Day. Damian Priest needs to leave the Judgment Day alone and go find something else to do. I know they have him with them because, they want to keep the ball rolling. But at the end of the day, they've been fighting for way too long. They need to move on to something else. But with nothing to do and no creative plans, they probably just got them feuding with each other forever. But that needs to be a whole wrap. So we had Chad Gable defeating Akira Tozawa via ankle lock. Gable refused to let go of the match until Otis jumped in, and then American Made back down. So Chad Gable will be fighting Otis soon. We had the Women's Intercontinental Championship Tournament match. Io Sky beat Alba Fire and Natalya. After a moonsault on Natalya, Sky was given an empty slot to the tournament after Pure Fusion's attack on Kairi Sane last Monday. Now, Kairi Sane was supposed to get that slot. We don't know what happened, but I guess they want Io to probably end up fighting for that title. Maybe Io loses and maybe Io wins the Royal Rumble. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see, because this is pretty interesting. They got Io at the top. Maybe they want Io and Rhea Ripley to run it back. So I don't know what they're going to do here. This is going to be very interesting to see what they do come Royal Rumble season. I'm looking forward to that. So Sonya Deville confronted Adam Pearce and asked for a spot, but was quickly shot down and informed that Io got the spot. So maybe she will cost Io the win, which means I think Lyra Valkyria will probably win. If I'm not mistaken, I think she is on the other side of the tournament. So looking forward to that. And then we got what I liked most on the show. The New Day ran into Dominic Mysterio, Kofi, and Woods. Said, "Hey, Dom, if anybody knows what's going on around here, it's you," because he gets booed out of the building too. And unfortunately, he was like, "Man, what y'all did to E was crazy." And they called him a fake-ass Tom Selleck, and he kept it pushing after that. But even Dominic Mysterio is like, "Man, that was low." I'm surprised he didn't say, "Listen, I don't like my deadbeat dad, but I wouldn't do what y'all did." I thought that was coming, but shout out to Dom. After that, they went out there and had a homecoming. Mr. Mama Kofi came all the way from Ghana, 20 hours. He cut a promo saying she came all the way 20 hours, and y'all are booing me, messing up my homecoming. And Kofi's mom is just looking at him like,
"You stupid."
Just looking at him. And he's like, "Ma, listen, my mom made me the person I am today. And y'all messing up the homecoming. Ma, give me a hug. Just give me a hug." And she was like,
"Nope."
And the crowd got real happy about this.
Give me a hell yeah.
They were real happy he didn't get a hug. So he thought he was getting a hug, and he got a little upset. He was like, "My mama wouldn't even give me the hug." He said, "Man, we didn't even do nothing. We could have had Ian the stretcher. We could have did this, that, and the third. But mama, why you mad at me? We didn't even do nothing." Nobody cares. So New Day is interesting every week. I'm just looking for new ways that they can get booed out of the building. I think they're having fun with it too. Even just looking at them, you could just tell that they're like, ooh, what fun are we gonna do this week? I'm sure they got so many new creative ideas to get booed out of the building. So many different promos they could cut. I'm glad they lost. I'm glad they turned heel because they've been more interesting now than they have been in quite a few years. And I ain't mad at it. Let's see what becomes of it. You know what? I think E is going to come back. And I think, first of all, it'd be very good to see E back because he could have died. We could have witnessed the death. I think he fractured that C2, C3, or he fractured the C1. I can't remember, but that C1, if that C1 breaks, you're dead. And the fact that he could even think about coming back after such a dangerous injury is just heaven sent. So God bless E for making it through that. But I think he's going to come back in the Royal Rumble. If he doesn't come back for the Royal Rumble, I don't see him coming back this year. Because if you got him come back in the Royal Rumble, have Woods and Kofi in there at the same time, and he eliminates them both, which is very possible, double clothesline, that would be an awesome spot. They would go crazy for that. It would go crazy. The crowd would go crazy for that. So I think that is potentially where they're going with this. But if he does not come back for the Royal Rumble, then he might not be back this year at all. Maybe SummerSlam, but you don't just bring Big E back. Somebody that went out like that. First of all, you got to make sure he's healthy. Then you got to bring him back when it's the right time to bring him back. So shout out to E. We also had Drew McIntyre beating Sami Zayn and leaving him to the bloodline. There will be no happy ending. Drew McIntyre opened the show. Another promo from the disrespect from his colleagues in the locker room, losing the Punk. McIntyre did not return to Scotland after he last recovered. After he lost to Recover, he said, but instead he did so because a close family member passed away. The rest of the locker room would know that if they called to check on him. But he said only one person called to check on him. I don't know who that is. Stay tuned. We'll find out. But Sami Zayn came down, eventually interrupted him. They had a thing going back and forth, and they had a little fight at the end of the show. Sammy's back was the story. His back gave out, tried to do the haluva kick, but he ran into a Claymore instead. After that, all hell broke loose. Bloodline came down, Jake came down, but the numbers game was just too much. Nope. And they got toe up from the flow up. They got beat the hell up. Samoan Spike here, Samoan Spike there, and they got left for dead. And the crowd went home miserable. There will be no happy ending, Triple H said. So Drew McIntyre looked at everybody, looked at the bloodline before he left, and then they just put the beats on Sami Zayn and Jey Uso. So Drew McIntyre is going to be running through all the people he doesn't like. So we'll see what happens. Because everybody that rocked out with Roman, he ain't feeling them. He ain't feeling these two. He ain't feeling Punk. So we're going to see what happens. But all of these stories intertwining on both shows, I like it. Shout out to Drew. The next time he fights Punk, I fully expect him to get his win back. So that definitely will be happening. I foresee it. So with that being said, that's really all we got for you today. I mean, NXT is today. I'm not watching NXT, not even gonna lie to you. And then we got tomorrow's Christmas. I think AEW taped tomorrow's show, or they're gonna put it on I think they taped it or they're gonna put it on Thursday. So that's it. We'll be back for the AEW review on Thursday. Tomorrow's Christmas. I ain't putting nothing out. So everybody have themselves a good Christmas. Enjoy. And we're going to run it back until we race to the end of the year. So with that being said, that's all I got. Everybody be safe. Enjoy the holiday. Y'all know what time it is. Peace.